Hey y'all. Guess what? One shining moment. Whoa! That's right. You guessed it. You probably know it. It is that time. One shining moment. Yes, we are. I am LA coming at you live right here in the ATL on a bright, cold, kind of breezy day. Woo, what's up with this weather, Mike Lowry? I thought you told me it was going to be warm, man. I got my car winterized and all summerized, and all of a sudden it's coming up here with all this brisk, cold, clap your butt weather, man. I need a nice woman to cuddle up with, but I probably better not say that on the air. But that's okay. If you any takers, hit me up after the show. But anyway, I'm just teasing, folks. Yeah, that's right. I am your host, LA. And we do things here at The Bases Are Loaded. That's right. They are loaded today from any other day that's normal day, but it's a big day because it's getting ready. It's going to kick off, folks, around 4 o'clock this evening. Actually, 6 o'clock this evening. The one shining moment. That's right. Leading up to the Final Four. That's right. The National Collegiate Athletic Association, for those of you who don't know, that is the NCAA tournament. Let's give it a bell ringing moment right now. It is time, baby. The bases are loaded. They are loaded with basketball. Basketball is underway for both the men and the women's. The National Collegiate Athletic Association, which is better known as, of course, the NCAA tournament, is starting up, folks. We are psyched. Ready for good competition, because I ain't gonna lie to you. I filled out my bracket. Yes, I filled out brackets. I actually don't know. Hey, for those of you who hadn't filled out brackets, you've got until probably tomorrow to get it done. Don't forget, folks, Warren Buffett, yes, eccentric billionaire, has did it again. That's right, to my producers and to Sequila, guess what? $1 billion. $1 billion for a perfect bracket. And the reason why that man doesn't mind forking out that kind of money, because it hasn't been done yet, and I'm pretty sure that within this lifetime we probably won't see it. You probably got a better chance to get out there and ask and beg for $1 billion in one day than you will to be able to actually get all of those 68 teams, baby. 8 of them are going to start today. The first 4 are going to start today. That's right. Right now at 6:40, kicking it off is going to be Wagner versus Howard at 6:40. All right, those Howard alums, I know President, Vice President, I know Kamala. Miss Kamala, I know your team made it to the big dance, baby. We're getting ready to get off in this thing. We'll see what Howard is going to take on Wagner this evening at 6:40. Trailing them is going to be at 7 is going to be Texas Southern against, of course. Now, this is the beautiful thing about this time of the year, folks. You have teams that you've never heard of. You have schools that you've never heard of. Tarleton State is going to be taking on Texas Southern at 7 p.m. this evening. You guys can tune into your local stations. Of course, ESPN, TN, it's going to be simulcast on Thursday, starting up early, probably around noon. So you guys get ready for that. Between the TNT, the CBS, along with, of course, ESPN, those games are going to be simulcast in a lot of those local stations. So check your local listings so that you don't miss any of that action. Okay, ACU tonight. Okay, it's going to be playing Texas A&M CC. Like I said, these are teams that these small little schools and stuff that are off there. If they making it on the big screen, baby, they're playing. Guess what? Everybody's going to be excited for that. That's why it's so amazing. Sports is amazing. It really is. Because when you're down and out and you're trying to pout, all you got to do is shout. Because your team might be making it. And those guys are going on. They're going at it at 9 o'clock. And right behind them at 9:10 is going to be Colorado State against those Virginia Cavaliers. So ACC, along with those other guys, get ready. All the, of course, conferences are going to be at hand. Now, of course, like I said, starting Thursday, I'm going to go over my brackets with you. Like I said, remember, we're going to start this back up. Don't get mad at me about your pick. Don't you put me on your stick. You've heard me say it before. Don't put me on your stick if your picks are not my picks. Look, do it yourself. Fill out your own brackets, okay? Because that $1 billion, I'm not sharing it with nobody. Matter of fact, I'm going to get that money and I'm going to get buck naked and lay on it. That's probably what I would do if I won that money. I'd probably do it in public too, and wouldn't give a darn who saw me. All right, listen out. Starting out, this is my pick for the first games that are slated. The first round of 64 is going to start up on March 21st, which of course will be Thursday. Right now, UConn will be going up against Stetson. Okay, I picked UConn to win that game. All right, behind them is going to be FAU and Northwestern. I picked FAU to a lot of people's chagrin. Northwestern has a pretty good team. Now, San Diego State and UAB. I think that's going to be an upset. That's the number 5 team going up to this 12 team. That's going to be an upset to me. I picked that. I picked UAB because I know some of those guys and I know some of the alumni that are down there are going to be excited about that. That's University of Alabama, of course, that are playing. I think I'm looking at this going to be the first upset on my pick, folks. Okay, I'm prognosticating, I'm guessing, and I'm hoping and praying. Okay, now Auburn is going to take on Yale. That's right, the Ivy League schools. Those Ivy League schools got some good basketball players, folks. You'd be surprised. Yeah, that's right, Shaquila. Guess what? The Ivy Leaguers can shoot a basketball, play some b-ball too. Okay. Next, after that, slated is going to be BYU against Duquesne. I picked Duquesne to win that game. That's another upset. Now, that's the number 6 going up against the 11 team. Illinois. At Illinois number 3, of course, they're rounding out, and they're going to play Morehead State. I definitely picked Illinois there, and they've got a really good team. They're going to go deep into the tournament this year. Washington State calling on those guys at Drake. That game is going to be at 10:05 p.m. That's going to get kicked underway. I picked Drake to win that game, even though Washington has a solid defense, and they've got a pretty poignant center as well. They've got a potent center, to be exact. Of course, North Carolina, come on, number 1 seed, playing, of course, either Howard or Wagner, which is going to be another upset. It's not going to be upset. I'm sorry. That's going to be a pretty much dismal beatdown with that play of course, of that centers and that kid that comes out. He's both of those guys are probably going to be in the pro discussion coming up pretty soon. They're going to play that around 2:45 tomorrow. Thursday. Mississippi State, Michigan State. I picked Mississippi State to win that, of course, and St. Mary's is following those guys. Grand Canyon. I picked St. Mary's. Alabama, Charleston. Yeah, come on. College of Charleston. It's from one of my godson. Hey, Jeremy, I know you're rooting for him. They're going to have a task. I think it's going to be a close game, though, but I think Alabama's going to eat that game out. They're going to eke it on one of their guard players pretty good. Their backcourt is really, really nice this year, and that coach has them really playing well. Clemson and New Mexico, ACC. Those guys are somewhat a basketball school. Football school, but they've been playing good basketball as of late. That with of course the forward that they have playing for them right now, he's playing lights out. His name escapes me, but you guys watch the game, and it's going to be a good one. That's gonna come down to the last minute, and a lot of these games probably will, like they normally do. That's the beautiful of it. That's why it's called March Madness, baby. Okay, Baylor's going to play Colgate. I picked Baylor to win that game, and Dayton right behind them is going to be at 3:30. Dayton and Nevada. I picked you guys to beat Dayton. Okay, because I just feel like that you're gonna pull that one out against those guys. They've got a pretty good record, but I think Nevada's gonna pull it out. Okay, I picked them to win that game as well. Arizona is playing Long Beach State. Right after that at 3, of course, they're at 2 p.m. These are East, West, and, of course, West and Central Mountain times, so that you guys actually, like I said, check your local listings so that way you'll be up on the games and you won't miss out on any action. In the South, the Houston playing Longwood. Come on, Houston's number 1. They've been number 1 all year up until last week during the championships. Folks, what happened? We'll talk about that a little bit later in the show. What happened to all these number 1s? Every number 1 team failed in their conferences last week. That's probably never ever happened. I don't think that's ever happened, Mike Lowry. That is definitely something I was going to talk about a little bit. What's going on with the coaching or getting these kids up hyped for these games? Number 1 is not meaning that you're going to be number 1. The best team doesn't always win, does it? They definitely pulled that. Wisconsin is going up against James Madison. I picked Wisconsin to win that one. Duke, of course, is this is the first time in years that Duke not only did not even get out of the first round of their conference, they're actually ranked number 4, but they're going to pretty much cruise with that play that they have with that long tall center that they have. They're playing Vermont. I picked them to win. NC State is playing Texas Tech. That's gonna be a good game. Okay. I picked NC State to win because NC State won the ACC championship, and they've got Howard. Oh my goodness, you guys are gonna see and gonna hear about his name. He's about Mike Lowry. This is a big boy. He's about 6'10", 300 pounds, and he plays like a guard. He plays like a point guard, folks. So be looking out for him. It's going to be fun to see how far they take it into the season. I'm going to tell you how I picked them to go, too. Kentucky. Kentucky over Oakland. They play at 7-10. Florida over Boise or either Colorado. That's my pick. I picked Florida. I don't like picking Florida. You know, hey, I'm not a Gator hater, but I don't care too much for the Gators. Anyway, hey, are you liking the Bases Are Loaded? Do me a favor. Hit that like and subscribe button and tell some more people about me. It keeps me coming and keeps you happy and keeps me smiling. Thank you. Hey, Gator fans, I told you, hate me. When you hate me, you make me great me. I told you that. Marquette over Western Kentucky as well. And in the Midwest, Purdue, come on, with Edey. Edey is going, I don't know why he hasn't gone pro yet. He's 7'4". He plays like a guard as well. He's shooting lights out too. I picked him to go very, very far, definitely into at least of course, the Elite Eight. We're going to talk about that a little better because later in the show, these teams are really, really evenly matched with these tall trees that these guys have on these teams, and these coaches are getting them up to play. Except, like I said, for some reason, the number one teams just didn't do well in their conferences this year. Gonzaga, you know that name, folks. You hear that name all the time. Okay, they're right there. They're going to be playing McNeese at 7:25. I definitely picked Gonzaga to move on to the round of 32. Kansas and Samford is going to round it off. South Carolina, I picked South Carolina, of course, to go deep as well. Creighton and Akron is going to be at 1:30. Texas, UVA. I picked Texas to win that game. Tennessee, they'll probably beat St. Peter's easily. Okay, now let's go on to the round of 32. All right, now. As a matter of fact, you know what? Let's just switch on over to the Sweet 16 for the sake of time, folks. Let's get down to it. Let's go to the Sweet 16. This is who my picks are for the Sweet 16, okay? Sweet 16, for those of you who don't know or what that means out of the 68 teams that have just played in the last 2 days, the following week is the 16 teams that are out of those, and basically a round of 32, okay? That's why it's 16, because, if you know how to do math, they split it. There's 16 out of those 32. But anyway, just a little joke, folks. But yeah, UConn, of course, like I said, they're number one. They're playing Auburn. That was a heart check. I love Chuck, man. Bruce has those guys doing well, but it's hard to pick against UConn, man. They were there, of course, last year's champs. They won the NCAA tournament last year. That kid that's actually coaching is Bobby Hurley's brother, and he's got those kids believing in themselves, and they're going to be formidable to beat. But I just didn't think that Auburn could beat them this year. They've got a great team. I love that kid coming out. I'm pretty sure he's going to go. He's coming out. Janai. I love the way you spell your name, Janai. That's smooth. J-O. Like John, but you put an I on it. That was smooth, mom or dad, whoever came in there. Might have been grandma in there. Might have been mom in there. Might have been cut them. Okay, whoever did it, that's great. He's a great kid, and he's got a bright future in the NBA. He's definitely getting ready to never be broke again. That's what the NBA stands for now, folks. Wow. Okay, Illinois is going to take on Iowa State. That's my pick. I picked North Carolina, of course, to beat Alabama, and Baylor over Arizona. Houston over NC State. And Purdue over Kansas, Texas over Creighton, okay? Coming down to the Elite Eight. But you know what we're going to do? We're just going to switch on over there to the Final Four, okay? Final Four I picked was, of course, UConn, North Carolina, NC State. Told you I was wondering what those were. In fact, that kid is phenomenal when you see how big that big boy is playing. He's playing with a purpose. And Purdue, like I said, Jack Edey, hey, 7'4", what can you do? We're going to see. And the sum of all of it, final two, folks, for the championship. UConn versus NC State. Boy, you talking about a good game that will be. I hope and pray that my bracket holds up. Let's see how yours does as well. Now, let's switch over to, guess what? We're not going to leave you guys out. We can't. This is a man's world. But it wouldn't be nothing without a girl, woman or girl. The women's folks. Let's talk about y'all. Okay? We got two. Starting out, isn't this a familiar? Hey, you know what? Mike Lowry, did you know that about, 8 or 9 years ago, it had never happened in the history of sports? Would you believe that a collegiate team, both the girls, did I just say girls? Both the men and the women won the national championship in the same year. Kudos to UConn. Okay? UConn, wow. Okay? Storrs, Connecticut. They got some winning traditions over there. All right. The women's side on the East. UConn, I picked you guys to win against Stetson. FAU to win against Northwestern. I picked I picked UAB. Stand with UAB. UAB has a great collegiate program in their basketball this year. I picked the women to win over San Diego State on that game as well. Auburn's girls are on point. They really are playing well this year. They've got some great guard play and a great backcourt there. They're going to play Yale again. Yale, like I told you, Yale, I'm not going to yell at nobody, okay? Yale has a great, would you believe it, athletic program when it comes to basketball. They've been doing it, okay? And they're going to be playing Auburn, but I picked Auburn to eat that one out, all right? BYU against Duquesne, okay? Illinois, I picked them over Morehead State. Washington and Drake, I picked Drake to beat those guys. Iowa State has a really great center that's coming out as well. She'll probably come up this year. But of course, South Dakota State is going to be playing them. North Carolina, the girls are doing well. They're number one again, to no one's surprise, just like the men. Okay, that's just a winning tradition over there on Tobacco Road between them and Duke and the Carolinas. Okay, that's basketball. That's imagery, that's pageantry, and it's just something that just to behold. They just play basketball over there on Tobacco Road. Ask Mr. Jordan that. All right, Mississippi State rounding off, and these games are coming on between 12 and 1, so you guys will check your local listings for the girls as well, okay? They start on March 21st as well, and of course, we'll round it up through these games are going to the 22nd. St. Mary's, I picked them over Grand Canyon. Alabama over College of Charleston, okay? Clemson over New Mexico. Baylor over Colgate. I've got Nevada over Dayton, and I've also got Arizona over Long Beach. And Houston in the South, I've got Houston over Longwood. And it's amazing. Again, you have a team that both the women and the men are both ranked number 1, okay? And like I said last week, they all lost their conferences, even both the men's and women's. That was crazy. But, of course, some of the number ones, of course, we'll talk about South Carolina in a minute. South Carolina, I can tell you now, I'm thinking it's my ace beating them. And you'll see why, and we'll talk about it later in the show. Nebraska, Texas A&M. I'm picking Texas A&M to beat those guys, those ladies, excuse me. Wisconsin plays James Madison, and I picked Wisconsin to win. Of course, Duke over Vermont. And Texas Tech over NC State. Kentucky, I picked over Oakland. Florida, I picked over Boise or Colorado. Marquette, I picked over Western Kentucky. And also Purdue over MTSG or Grambling that they're playing as well. Utah State against Texas Christian. Of course, it's TCU. I picked TCU to win that game. Gonzaga, I don't bet against Gonzaga that much. You'll hear that later on my brackets. They're playing McNeese. Those games are starting in the evening at 7:25. Kansas over Samford, and that game starts at 9:55. Of course, I'm picking the Jayhawks. They've got another winning tradition between the men and the women in their championships as well. South Carolina, nah. They're playing. Let's see here. Did I just mess up and do something crazy, folks. Okay, they're playing Oregon and Creighton. Okay, Tennessee. Okay, here we go. All right, let's go to the round of 32, Sweet 16. Let's go to the Sweet 16. You know, I did mess up. Forgive me, folks. I'm over back on. I don't know how I did it, but I did go. Forgive me, folks, but I stand corrected. We're going to go back to the women's side. We're going to go straight to the Sweet 16 that I picked. Okay. I picked, of course, number 1, South Carolina over Indiana, and Oregon State, number 2. They're going up against, of course, Oregon State, which is Notre Dame. I picked Notre Dame to win that game. I picked Texas over Utah. Okay. Also Tennessee over Stanford. And I picked Iowa. Come on. What can you say about Caitlin Clark? There's nothing else to be said. She's been playing lights out. She's the winningest, most highest scoring in history over men and women in the NCAA basketball sports arena. She broke that record, okay, this year. And she's also, like I said before, if you were watching, she's broken twice. She scored over 1,000 points in 2 different seasons. The young lady can shoot the basketball, okay? I can assure you that one. She will definitely go pro, and she's probably, we're going to talk about that later in the show, folks. She declared to go in the WNBA in her junior year. Folks, she's probably going to be losing about, I'm going to say roughly about $9 million per year because of NIL money, because they don't pay that kind of money in the WNBA. And we're going to talk about that in a second. LSU, of course. Hey, Angel Reese. To, of course, Caitlin Clark's chagrin last year, the winners of the tourney. All last year, they won, of course, the national championship, beating and, of course, eking out Iowa with Caitlin Clark, even with her scoring 40 points. They were no match for LSU. I'm picking LSU there to beat UCLA, and they've got a great team. USC has a great team. Juju is playing lights out. That young lady's awesome. I picked them over Virginia Tech. I picked UConn. I don't bet against Gino Auriemma. He's just, he's the winningest coach. So, and of course, women's basketball over Ohio State. And then with that said, we're going to get down to the Final Four. And this is my Final Four pick for the ladies. That is South Carolina versus Texas. You know who I'm going with. I'm going with those Gamecocks. Yeah, those Gamecocks on the Dale, on Dawn Staley. Hey, come on. What can you say? What can you say about their play? They are 32-0, folks. Okay? So if they do get down to where I'm saying, they will be 35-0, and they only need one more game to make it a perfect season. Can they do it? Time will tell. We're going to be right here watching them. I know that. And, of course, in the East region, of course, it's going to be LSU. The LSU Tigers are going up against UConn. That was hard. That was really hard for me to pick LSU over UConn, but I just feel like Angel Reese and Kim Mulkey, they've got they got something going on over there, down there in the bayou. And would you know how ironic it would be that they're playing those two teams again after that big small little brawl that they had? Do you know what kind of, we got to get a ding ding on that one. If my picks are correct for the women, I'm pretty sure, Rod, I can assure you, that's going to be probably more watched than the men's. Because Kendrick Perkins was on First Take Today, and he said he is more excited about watching the women's tourney than he is the men's. Because of all the folklore, women are getting their due. Give it to the women, baby. And speaking of, before I go to the next segue, hey, what's up with that? Folks, send me a message. Let me know how you feel about that. I know what the women here feel. I know you guys think about pioneers like Billie Jean King, Serena Williams, Serena and her sister, of course, Venus. They fought hard, really hard, under the scrutiny. One, Billie Jean King, and yeah, this came up, of course, I told you I'm going to be a little controversial, folks. Remember I told you I do this undeniably, and I do it unapologetic too. These women, black women, white gay women, think of the opposition they went up when they were simply trying to get, guess what, their due in equal pay. Now, sidebar, little codicil. And I'm pretty sure some of you women are going to be mad at me when I say this, but I want you to challenge me on it. Send me a message. Tell me what you think. I do not agree. I'm going to vehemently say what I'm about to say. I do not agree that you women should get paid exactly the same amount of money in attorney, i.e., the big games, the big ones, the Grand Four. That is the Australian Open, Wimbledon, of course, and oh my goodness, what's going on? I'm losing my mind here. The one where we're playing on clay. It was played in Spain. Okay, those are big tickets. The reason why I don't agree with you women, and you might agree with me, but you can at least, and all that getting the Bible tells us to get understanding, you might be able to understand why I say this. And I say that with a little tongue in cheek, okay? The reason why I don't agree with you guys getting as much money as the men is because you just simply don't play as much. Men have to play 5 sets. You guys only have to pay 3. So why do you make as much money? Now, one would argue, and I'm with you, it's a palatable argument. You women, you get a lot more, but you got to give it to whom's done it, though. It's because of the play. It's because of the black women that were up and coming, the sisters that were from Compton. People, that's great television. That's great controversy. Controversy brings, guess what? Ratings. Ratings bring revenue. Okay? So, yeah, you could argue the point that Venus and Serena are probably going to be more watched than Andy Murray or, of course, I don't know, Leighton Hewitt, okay? I can understand that. But those guys do have to play longer, folks. But so, I'm not saying that the disparity should be as much as what it was, because, oh my goodness, it was atrocious. It's just like what's going on in the WNBA. And that's why I'm drawing a parallel to the two. The WNBA, oh my goodness, the WNBA is owned by the National Basketball Association. Why is there such a disparity? Those women should be at least being paid as much money as the guys who sit on the bench. You sit on the bench in basketball, in the National Basketball League. The minimum salary is $1.35 million. Some of the teams don't pay that out on the WNBA. I don't agree with that at all because those girls play just as hard. Sure, the ball is smaller, but the goal is still 10 feet. They might have to shoot their threes a little bit better, but hello, did you see Ionescu go up against Steph Curry? And she was shooting from guess where? Same three-point line that he was. To somebody's chagrin that they said, man, you know what? It wasn't kind of fair. It was unfair. Steph Curry was shooting from, 22 feet out, as opposed to theirs being 19. Okay? Said it threw her shot off a bit. Still didn't stop that ball from going in the hoop. So give me a holler. I want to know what you guys feel about that. Tell me and be candid. I want you to know, what do you feel about these disparities of monies in sports? Like I said, I err on the side of caution. It's a little cautionary tale with me when I say I don't. I just feel like the men play just as much. What's wrong with women playing 5 sets? Hello? You ask these young girls, Coco Gauff, that young girl running around that court relentlessly, viciously. I think she could play 2 more sets, and she probably would like to, considering she doesn't get her wheels rolling until the second set anyway. So knowing comfortably that she's got 3 more, I don't think there's anything wrong with that, folks. Let me know what you think about that. I would love to hear the comments, okay? And with that said, hey, let's go to the... Hello, and thank you for watching Bases Are Loaded. This show is brought to you by Hot and Saucy, flavor over heat. Major League Baseball, folks. Wow. My Yankees, boy, we've got a team for y'all this year. We've got a team. Santos. Woohoo. Woo. I ain't gonna even talk. my boy, my man, Stanton, center fielder. He is starting, actually left fielder. And then we've got Judge. Look at that firepower. Still got to go up against who? Them Los Angeles Lakers. Folks, the Los Angeles Lakers have two young men that when they are finished paying them will be almost $2 billion. Shohei Ohtani, and I'm not going to even try and enunciate Mr. Yamagu. And guess what? They're both from Japan. I need to move to Japan, don't I? And then come back to the United States so I can get that kind of loot. All right? And, we'll, hey. But we're getting geared up for the season. The season for baseball is underway. March 28th is opening day. Woo! Can't wait. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jack. The Braves. You guys are doing well. You guys look good. You got your the quarterbacks of the field. Of the pitchers, you've got some great pitchers that you're signing. You've got some great kids in your farm system. Ronald Acuna Jr. just read the other day he's going to be ready for opening day. So you guys are going to be on their way for another pennant, at least. So get ready for that. National League, you better get ready. The Braves are the Braves. They're the Bravos again. They've got great management, great coaching. Got a great culture they're building. They're starting to do it again. So Braves, Atlanta fans, get ready. I love your chant. Hey-oh, I know where you got it from. All right. So with that said, Blake Snell. Oh, man. Right, Larry, boy, I tell you, I tried to play baseball, but, man, that ball hurts. At least I know when that ball is coming at me. No, I like getting hit the other way. At least I can fall on the ground and kind of capture some of the blessings and assets. But when you're playing baseball, that ball is coming at you. It depends on who it is. Even at 80 miles per hour, that ball hits you. It hurts. And you got these young men that are coming out of college that are pitching in excess of over 90 plus miles per hour. That's almost the equivalency of a bullet. You standing right in front of it and getting hit. But no, thank you. And that's why those guys be ready to chunk those bats and get those hands up. But Blake Snell, pitcher extraordinaire. Like I told you guys early in the year, I couldn't believe all these free agents that are out there that are not getting signed. Blake Snell just signed, and boy, did he sign. I would love to be his agent. I know 2 years, $62 million with the Giants. So you guys get ready out there, out west, and of course the East Coast. We got a lot to look forward to when it comes to baseball. I'm ready, and I know you guys are too, okay? And with that said, let's go. All right, NFL. Well, yeah, I'm not going to lie to y'all. I'm not going to cry today. I'm not going to cry. What's that song by Mary J. Blige? Okay. I'm not going to do it. Steelers! Steeler Nation. You did it. My buddy Mike D called me up last week and he sent me a text message saying, LA man, I know you're excited. Your Giants are seriously talking to Justin Fields. I stopped what I was doing. I almost pulled on the side of the road, Shaquila. I was like, thank you, God. Thank you, Jesus. Oh, Lord. I'm getting an answer. And 2 days later, I'm talking to him on the phone, and I just simply mentioned, hey, Mike, hey, man, what's up with that? Did they say anything more about Justin Fields coming to my Giants, baby, and delivering us from the depths of football purgatory? And he sits there on the phone with a big grin on his damn face because he bleeds black and yellow, black and yellow. He was already excited about the fact that they just signed, I'm going to say it, Sierra. Because you can't say Russell Wilson without Sierra, Atlanta born. Okay? This man said to me, and he could tell you if he was right here sitting beside me, I actually almost hung. I did hang the phone up on him. I had to call him back and apologize to him, Rod, because I sure did. I hung the phone up on him when he told me, hey, man, you didn't hear it? We just signed him. He's backing up Russell. What? Man, wait a minute. It's not April. You can't be April fooling me. This is March. What the hell? Ooh, excuse me, Grandma. I didn't mean to say that, baby. But that's how I felt. And I'm going to challenge my Giants fans all the way from the Eastern Seaboard all the way to the depths of the West Side of America. Can y'all please write me and tell me, just leave me a comment. Can you tell me 1, 2, 3 players on the New York Giants football team? And I do mean Giant football team, folks, because there is a Giant baseball team, okay, who has rendered much success in the past 10 years. Sure ain't been in our Giants. I challenge you guys, send me that message. I want to hear it. Send me 3 players. And don't look up. Don't cheat. And no, don't send me Daniel Jones, because that right there don't make my day happy at all. None. Okay? Send me 3 players that you know. We are faceless. We're faceless. We're just like the Hawks were before Trae Young came. I don't know what the hell happened with the Maras and the Rooneys. Like I've told you before, they're married. And I do mean that literally. They're married to each other. They're in-laws. 2 billionaire families are in-laws. They created their own child, and because they couldn't remember, they're so arrogant, they couldn't even come up with a name for their daughter. So you know what they did? They named her by her last name. First name, last name first. Her name is Rooney Mara. I said before, she's a great actress. You'll love the movie. That's not Along Coming Spider. It's the girl with the spider tattoos. Great movie. She's a great actress. Maybe she'll play a football. She'll probably be. We need to try and get her on the football team. She'll probably play better than Grandma. Damn Daniel Jones. Anyway, right now the Chiefs just keep getting richer, folks. The Kansas City Chiefs. Chris Jones. Get your money, brother. Whoo! He just signed an extension, $158.8 million, making him the highest paid defensive tackle in history. Go ahead. And you know what, folks? He's worth it. Chris Jones is the leading tackler. And I'm going to talk about who he is the leading tackler now because of what happened. And we'll talk about that at the end of the show. Okay. Atlanta. What's up? Atlanta fans get a little mad about this one. The Commanders, they did you guys kind of like we did Saquon. They wouldn't franchise Chase Young. Where did they send him? Atlanta fans are not going to be happy about this one. He's going to be playing your arch rival, so you guys are going to be seeing him 2 times a year. And if you make the playoffs, you'll see him 3. Because I got a feeling they're doing some stuff down there. Again, them ain'ts no more of them. The Saints just signed Chase Young. Woo! Atlanta should not be happy about that, okay? That's going to ring some truth with you guys, okay? And with that, let's talk about the power rankings because Atlanta moved up with the signing, of course, of Kirk Cousins. I still need some feedback from you folks. I've heard Atlanta's torn. You have some of you fans are happy, some of you are ecstatic, and then some of you are totally dismal. You are not happy about that signing of Kirk Cousins, especially over Justin Fields. I know I'm not. I know I'm with y'all. You see that face. Anyway, we'll talk about that another time. But yeah, let's listen to the power rankings right now because of it. Of course, you know who number 1 is. Hey, this is my adopted team now because my Giants are not Giants. They're midgets. But the Kansas City Chiefs, number 1. Rounding off number 2 is going to be those 49ers. Get ready. They're in the power rankings this year. Okay, starting up that 24-25 season. The Baltimore Ravens, the Detroit Lions, number 4. Buffalo Bills coming in at number 5. Number 6 is, of course, the Philadelphia Eagles because they took my beloved franchise face of my Giants, who are now midgets. Saquon Barkley. What kind of backfield are you guys going to have? Oh, my goodness. The Philadelphia Eagles are number 6. Number 7 is going to be Houston Texans. Get ready, folks. The Houston Texans are on the rise. That kid out there, that coach has got those guys believing in themselves, and they're going to be formidable next year. Number 8 is going to be the Green Bay Packers. They've got a great quarterback. You know it. They keep a great quarterback. That's something they've always been doing, Mr. Love. And number 9 is going to be the Cincinnati Bengals. They're up and coming, folks. Number 10, I don't know why they are, but I guess just because they didn't move anybody, so I guess they're going to keep them on a level, an even keel. And that is the Dallas Cowboys at number 10. Miami, I'm a little surprised. They're at number 11 because this is the top 15, folks. If I didn't mention it, this is the top 15 in the power rankings right now. Number 11 is going to be the Miami Dolphins. Number 12, Cleveland Browns. Whoa. Quarterback. Talk about quarterback. You got Deshaun Watson, and you got my, hey, whoo, folks, get ready. That's gonna be fun. That AFC North and West is gonna have some fun with quarterbacks. That's gonna be a really, really sight to behold next year because either one of them is gonna be something to watch. Of course, Pittsburgh Steelers with the signing, of course, of Russell Wilson and Sierra. And number 14, you Falcons were not in the top 20 at all. Now, because you signed Kirk Cousins, you guys are number 14. And rounding off and coming in last, and number 15 is going to be the Jacksonville Jaguars. So, hey, we've got football that's going to be, we've got the offseason. There's going to be some more moves out there that are going to probably piss some of you off. I know I'm past pissed off at the pissed off activity that could be pissed off history, because I really, really and truly, I'm going to just tuck my hats, my jackets, my sock. I got socks. I do. Did have a pair of drawers, but I pretty much burned them when I found out that is what they did the other night. Okay? But let's switch it up a little bit. Let's go to the NBA, okay? The NBA. National Basketball Association, but what I told you before stands for Never Broke Again. Because, boy, these signings. Did y'all see? He got 4 rings, folks. Did you see Anthony Edwards? Come on, Atlanta fans. You guys have to love it. I know you're mad that he's not here with you, but he is an Atlanta native. Grew up over there in the west side, okay, of Atlanta. Okay, shouty. Anthony Edwards is a beast. That dunk. First of all, folks, remember, the dunk was, he should be in the dunk contest. Why he wasn't, we don't know. But he sure did it last night in the game. Okay? You guys don't know too many folks who do it in the game. Sequila, there's one thing to watch a dunk contest, but when the guy does it in the game, whoo, oh my goodness, it was so bad, folks. When Anthony they showed him at the end of the game, they showed him, this is the reaction. Let me pantomime it. Oh! He did that himself, looking at his own self. That's how high. He said that has got to be the best dunk I have ever done in my life, y'all. I ain't gonna lie. And guess who it was on? John, what's y'all center that y'all, your forward that you got rid of from Atlanta Hawks? It was John Smith or whatever his name was. That was on him last night. It was so ugly he even did this. It was bad, folks. But I want you to tell me, did you see what Anthony Edwards did last week? The boy got up so high, folks, for a block. He bumped his head on the backboard. So this means this young man doesn't even know the depths of how high he can actually get up. So leave me a comment. Which one? Watch it on YouTube. Put in Anthony Edwards. It's going to come up. I promise you the algorithms are going to be very, very, very cordial to you. Which one do you think was more impressive? The dunk or the block? I loved it. Leave me a comment. Leave it in the comments. I want you to like and subscribe and tell me what you think, all right? Now, with that said, guess what, folks? Hats off. Ring, ding, ding, ding moment. Best thing I've seen. Congratulations, my friend. Mr. Aaron Donald. Aaron Donald played 8 seasons. He's hanging it up. He's tossing up that helmet. Wish you much, much success, my friend, but you had an illustrious career. Super Bowl appearance, won it. 8 Pro Bowls, actually 11-time Pro Bowler, okay? 8-time seasons that you were leading in tackles. That's the reason why I told you Chris Jones is now number 1, because Aaron Donald has gone into the chagrin of a lot of quarterbacks, and I'm going to quote Kyler Murray. Thank you, Lord. This man is retired, okay? That D tackle, Aaron Donald has wreaked havoc on quarterbacks for the last 10 seasons, and we're going to miss him. We wish you much success, all right? And definitely, take your time, enjoy that life, enjoy those kids that you have, and we wish you nothing but the best, Mr. Donald. You've been a great, great ambassador for the sport of football, both on and off the field, and that's something to behold, folks, because we both know that is not always necessarily the case. Now, we'll switch gears a little bit, folks. Something near and dear to my heart. Good people. Vote. Go vote, folks. I'm sure you're hearing it. You're hearing the utterance. You're hearing the propaganda. You're hearing all of the melee that is going to be with the incumbent president, along with the one who is running against him, and we all know who that is. Folks, go out and vote, okay? Because it's going to make a difference. Everything that we're having that's happening in America and throughout this world has something to do with our voices. Our voices are impactful. Listen, folks, someone asked me about 2 years ago, do I vote? And then they asked me, why do I vote? When I said yes. And I said, do you actually think that it makes a difference? This was my response to them. And I'm going to look you right in the face when I tell you this. I don't vote to make a difference. I vote because I am the difference. Because my great grandparents and my grandmother and my grandfather that lived in the Deep South were not eligible to vote until they were in their 30s. One of the greatest moments that I had a chance to witness when I was 9 years old is when I got a chance to see my grandmother and my grandfather. Actually, I was 11. I'm sorry. I got a chance to see my grandmother and my grandfather get dressed up. I'm thinking they're going to church. They were on a Tuesday. And I'm thinking, wow, this is Sunday. This is not Sunday. It's a Tuesday. Why is grandma and granddad getting dressed up? I remember seeing the proud faces on my grandfather's face when he was getting ready to go and vote for the very first elected possible Democratic running, which was Jesse Jackson, first black man. I remember the proud look on their face and how eager they were. They got dressed up like they were going to church. That's why I vote, folks, because they couldn't. I'm the difference. You be the difference too. You never know what good comes out of it, because there were people that died for that right for you to do it. And most of you know that if you were told right now that you could not do something, you try and raise holy mess. So with that said, please be conscientious about that. Think about it for yourself. Talk to yourself. Look at yourself in the mirror and ask yourself, if you don't vote, why don't you? And think and remember to always love somebody. Love yourself even more. And appreciate this life that God has given us. And I appreciate you guys staying tuned to The Bases Are Loaded. I'll see you this next time. Same bad time, same bad place. All right? Have a great one, folks.